Today's guest helps make it happen for the fan experience at Minotauros games. Joining me now, it's Peter Theodos from the Taros. We'll get into what you're doing every single game night and away from that in just a little bit. But you're in Minot now, but you grew up from across the country in West Virginia. Tell me a little bit about where you grew up, St. Albans, and what makes that almost heaven, West Virginia, country roads and all that crap.
I was born and raised in St. Albans, West Virginia. I lived there for the first 18 years of my life. It was just a great little small town just outside of Charleston. So while many people think that, it's in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, I actually call it the quote-unquote civilized part of the state. There was stuff to do. Grew up loving baseball. There was a minor league baseball team there, so, went through the whole minor league sports enjoyment there. Saw some really good players come through. St. Albans was just a great little town. Always had your back. And it's just a fantastic place to be. It was booming back in, I want to say, the 60s. There was a huge chemical industry plant kind of in that area. So where I'm from was known as the Chemical Valley. But with everything kind of just moving away, it's gotten really quiet there. Big coal area. But, West Virginia is always going to be home to me, regardless of where I am in my life.
Talk about them having your back. How about playing the high school sports growing up? What was that like for you?
Man, I'll tell you what, playing high school sports in that area was really fun. Every year there was always this one game where it was a tournament, and we'd always have an in-school game. So playing during the school day and having the entire school there was fun. But even when we'd play at night, we'd get a huge group of students come out. A lot of parents would come out as well. And it was just a great, fun atmosphere to play in. And then there's just a bunch of other high schools in that area, so you'd always get some decent turnout on road games as well. So it was just fun. And then you get to know a lot of people from both your high school, obviously, and from other high schools. So the competition was good. But the rivalries, playing against people that you'd played against for a while was also just a lot of fun.
How did you get connected with Lake Erie College, just in like the recruiting steps and ultimately getting there?
So that's actually a funny story. I was recruited by two colleges to play, one in Altoona, PA, and my dad's originally from the Philadelphia area, so we stopped at this college on our way to Philly for Thanksgiving. So I'm at this college taking a visit. We get back from Thanksgiving and all that, and I'm sitting in our dining room doing homework, and my mom comes into the dining room. She's like, "Hey, you need to come listen to this voicemail." And it just so happens the same day that I was visiting this other college, Lake Erie called my home phone in West Virginia and left a voicemail. I'd honestly never heard of the school, so instantly went up and looked, and it was about 30 to 45 minutes east of Cleveland. So I ended up going up there right before Christmas, did a little workout for them, ended up going back up, taking another visit after Christmas, and just ultimately decided that Lake Erie offered me the opportunity to play college ball, which is what I always wanted to do, and further my education and get a degree in sport management.
It's funny how it all kind of lined up. I thought maybe you guys would make like a round trip just during Thanksgiving, but you went before Christmas?
Yeah, right before we actually got up there, I had a little workout with two other guys, which was also funny because one of the other guys in that workout also committed. So I ended up having this little workout with him and then playing 4 years with him as well. So that was kind of something special that we had together. But yeah, never heard of this school. Played it was in Painesville, Ohio. Never heard of Painesville. Honestly, never thought I'd be up to Cleveland, but I'll tell you what, people don't give Cleveland enough credit as how nice it's gotten up there. So I really enjoyed my 4 years there, learned a lot. found a couple of guys that are my best friends, and I talk to them almost every day. So I definitely enjoyed my time at Lake Erie.
That's awesome, man. How were you guys on the field? Was it just like the camaraderie was the best part of it, or did you guys play really well at all?
So my freshman year, I think we finished 3 or 4 games under 500 overall, right around 500 in conference play. My sophomore year, we got a brand new coach. It was his first time being a head coach, and out of I think the 45 or so games, maybe 50 games that we played, we only won 11.
Wow, okay.
And 3 of those came the first weekend of the year. So that was a lot, and that was definitely a very big learning year for me as a person, as an athlete, and it kind of just helped me accept failure a little bit better. And then my junior year, we kind of got snuffed out of the conference tournament. I won't really go into details about that. And then my senior year, we set school records. We were projected to finish. We got another new coach right before or right after Christmas break. So we were only with this coach for a couple of weeks. We were projected to finish, I think, 11th in the conference, and we ended up finishing 4th. So that was to kind of go out on that note your senior year, to play in the conference tournament for the first time. The memories and just the experience of learning to play the game, but also making friends that I still talk to a lot. And just the camaraderie, like you said, the camaraderie of just the guys going through everything with them. I wouldn't trade for the world.
Did you guys ever do anything like the summer bat leagues, like the Saber Dogs, anything like that come up?
Yeah, I played in a league my freshman year, after my freshman year of college in Norfolk, Virginia. Took a summer off to train my sophomore year, and then in between my junior and my senior year, I actually played in a league in New York, the western part of New York. So that was both of those times were a lot of fun. And then it's actually funny. One of the ways that I got to Minot was I was in Pierce, South Dakota, and I was working for the Pierre Trappers, which are in the same league as the Saber Dogs. And one of the things that the Saber Dogs or the Trappers wanted when I applied for the internship there after I graduated was they said that they allow graduated seniors to play in this league, kind of just get one last hurrah or a chance to get some more scouting, whatever they wanted to do. So towards the end of the year, the Trappers were running out of pitching. I just started talking to the Toros about getting hired on. So I was going through the whole interview process. It was, I think, August 3rd, if my mind is recalling it correctly. It was the very last home weekend for the Trappers and the Saber Dogs of the regular season. And then I ended up coming up, having an interview on the 2nd with the Toros, pitched in Minot for the Trappers against the Saber Dogs on the 3rd, which turned out to be my very last time pitching in a competitive baseball game. And then a week or so later, I was hired on by the Toros. So it's kind of it's interesting how everything kind of just came full circle and how it was almost just destined for me to come to Minot.
That's crazy, man. What was your pitching repertoire?
A fastball, and maybe a semi not so good slider, kind of just depended on the day. Mostly in college, I was a relief pitcher, so I was mostly just a 2-pitch pitcher.
Yeah, same. Okay, sounds good. What about sports management made you want to pursue a career in that?
So I'd always loved sports. Obviously, like I said, with the baseball background, I always thought I'd wanted to work in baseball, but now that I'm with the Toros, I'm kind of seeing how everything goes in hockey. I've really enjoyed my time here working with the Toros and working in hockey. It's funny, I actually wanted to kind of do what you're doing, Ben, and I wanted to go into sports journalism at first, but Lake Erie didn't offer that, so I went into the management side. And I think I'm actually going to like the management side more than anything.
Did you? I mean, obviously, baseball was your game to get to college, but did you have a hockey background at all? Like, did you play in high school or like in Pee Wees or anything?
No, hockey was not big at all where I was from. I don't even know if the rink's still open. There was an ice rink in my area. I'm not sure if it's still open or not. I haven't been home in a year or so, so I'm not sure. What got me interested in hockey is actually funny. So, Jack Gorman, who now works for the Saber Dogs, I met him in college, and he's from Buffalo, New York. So, obviously, being from Buffalo, he's a big Buffalo Sabres fan. And he was just watching Sabres games, and that kind of just got me interested in hockey, which at the end of the day, it's kind of ironic. I grew up loving baseball, and I'm working in hockey. Jack grew up loving hockey and is now working in baseball. So how does that work? I'm not sure, but, we're both loving it here in Minot, and that's how I got my hockey background, kind of.
Do you guys ever like kind of bounce wacky promotion ideas off each other? Like, I like this sport and you're working in this sport, so try this?
Yeah, kind of. We're also both kind of just feeling our ways out. Both kind of doing our own thing and just kind of figure out how our careers are going to go as well. We'll obviously talk about both of our events and kind of run through things and bounce ideas off of each other. But for the most part, I think we're kind of just doing our own thing, working with our own business partners and coworkers and that sort of thing.
All right, so tell me a little bit about, as a game day ops manager of the Taurus, what do you do like 9 to 5, and then on a game night, what's going on for you? And then even like in the off season, what are you up to?
So this was the first off season that I'd gone through in anything, kind of. So it's that was just a little bit different than what I'll probably do next off season, which is okay. 9 to 5 wise, usually just work on stuff. If it's a game week, I'll start preparing posters and making plans and all that, making sure everything's starting to get lined up. Game days are just, there's no way to really describe them. They're just game days. Usually I show up about 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning, start running around the rink, getting things set up. And then by the time the game's over, I'm still cleaning up and getting things put away, probably for another hour afterwards. It's not uncommon for me to get close to 40,000 steps on a Friday and Saturday night combined. So about 20 to 22,000 steps a night when we have a homestand.
Yeah, that was definitely going to be one of my follow-ups. It's like you're looking at the questions or something. So
yeah, I know, right?
What's been different here? You said you got through the first off season and stuff. But what about all this COVID stuff that you guys have had to deal with this year? What's that been like, and how has the league still been able to keep rolling?
I think the league's done a great job. I really do. I think they put a lot of things in place. Obviously, Brad Porter, our owner, and Ken have done a lot of communicating with me about protocols and all that, and Brad's been on countless number of meetings to set that up. But it's definitely different this year. This year, it's kind of, you don't really know faces because everyone's wearing a mask. And then the players obviously are having a tougher time interacting because they're not allowed to go to each other's build houses afterwards. So I think from an operational standpoint as well, it's difficult. It really is, because you want to be. You want things to go smoothly, and you want things to be like they were last year. But there's just a lot of things that are different this year. We have a social distance section. We only have 2 ticket windows open, so people are more socially distant. The bars, we had to get new register systems, so we could go touchless and cashless if need be. And then just sanitizing everything, whether it's a hand sanitizing station, me going through before and after games with a sanitizing spray and sanitize the box office, the merch stand, the bars, the community room, the bar stools, the seats, and stuff like that. The players are doing the benches, the locker rooms. Big shout out to the Minot High School hockey team. There for a while, we actually, to keep our players more socially distant, had 2 locker rooms going, and since the high school wasn't using their locker room, they let us put our forwards in there. So it's just a lot of different things that are going on this year behind the scenes that we're doing to keep people safe. That's for sure.
Yeah, so when you go into Mesa Arena, something that's been awesome has been like that brand new scoreboard, for one example. So obviously this year has been crazy different. So maybe if you dated back to maybe your exit meetings or what have you from last season, did you guys have an idea of like, hey, we feel like we're doing a great job so the fans have a great time, but what do we want to do further to make it even better, I guess, as we get to like a normal setting?
One of the things that Brad Porter, Mr. Porter, and definitely taught me when I first got here was we want to be the best. And how do we keep being the best? And that's obviously the video board has been a huge addition for us. We're able to do more video advertising. The graphics are more animated. I feel like people can definitely if they're at the concession line and they can't really see the game, they can still watch the game on the video boards. I think that's been obviously the biggest addition. We got a couple of new intermission games that we're rolling out this year to change things up. Whether it's a new intro song or a new intro video or just something like that, just keeping things updated and adding the little things just to change it up a little here and there. Definitely to just keep the fans on their toes and kind of just keep them entertained, because the more they're entertained, the more they are likely to come back to another game.
You're doing so many things on a game night, but where's like the fun come from? Do you have fun like in the moment at all, or where's like the rewarding enjoyment come from for you for this job?
I'll tell you what, the most rewarding thing is knowing when fans come up to me and say that they're having fun. Just walking by one day during a game, there was a father and a son that were just standing there talking, and it was having had those father-son moments with my dad, and just seeing that at our game, it just made me super happy to know that I was able to give this opportunity to this father and this son. And the kid, I had a sticker in my pocket, and I handed it to the kid, and the kid was probably like 5 or 6, but he was just grinning from ear to ear from it. So it's just little things like that, Ben, that make me really excited about the job that I do and the memories that I'm able to give the fans.
One other spot that is really benefited, I think, from like the brand new video board, for example, is the community room, dude. And there's been plenty of events there. Where do you think the best uses come for that? I mean, did somebody else have like way too much fun in there ever, or what?
Yeah, the community room's great. It's definitely a place to put if people are looking to have nights out with their groups. Obviously, with this whole COVID thing, maybe you want to wait, but we still have nights available for people to come out, and I think it's a great opportunity. We had Circle Sanitation in here at the beginning of the season, and they loved it. They had never used the community room before, but they used it this year, and in talking with their people, it sounded like that they wanted to do another night. It's just a great opportunity for people to come. The seats are right behind the bench, so if you want to watch the game, you have great seats. If you don't really want to watch the game, then you got the community room to kind of just sit in. And if you get cold watching the game, you can go back into the community room and the game's on the TV, or you can look out and watch it on the video board. Like, there's just things for just about everyone for a group.
Do you get cold because like you're a baseball player in a hockey arena?
So being in Cleveland, playing ball, I was used to the cold weather. And 40-degree games where it's everyone in the stands is wearing 17 layers, but you're standing in the dugout wearing 4. Obviously 4 is a lot of layers still, but and you're just fine. It's little things like that. So transitioning into the hockey rink at first, it was kind of a little different, but then once I get moving around the rink and I'm starting to constantly just walk laps, then I start to warm up. But no, I don't really get cold.
Since you're going into a job where like the fan experience at a place is super important, when you're ever off, do you enjoy also live entertainment venues?
Yeah, I do. My dad and I kind of have a hobby of going to pro baseball stadiums and just trying to get to every single one of them. So it's kind of that was before I got into working in sport, but going to, even if I travel with the team, just going to see other games and other arenas or events in the league, just seeing how those teams run their operations, how they set up things, the little things that they do there that I think might be able to transition here. So kind of now that I have this job, I'm going to enjoy the game, but I'm also kind of scouting and looking to see what they're doing, what music they're playing, what intermission games they're doing, or what events they have, just to boost our fan experience.
Peter, it sounds like you're enjoying yourself right here while you're still learning a lot in the first early stages of your career. Just really appreciate your perspective with how the Taros are running things. We just had Ken Oda on, and just to have another guy from the front office is great, so thanks.
Yeah, no problem, Ben. Thanks for everything.